Në 7 tetor të këtij viti, 7 tetor 2023, Izraeli u trondit nga një sulm terrorist në jug të vendit. Më shumë se 1200 njerëz mbetën të vrarë, mes tyre gra, fëmijë dhe pleq. Familje të tëra u masakruan brenda në shtëpinë e tyre. Më shumë se 240 persona u morën peng, mes tyre foshnja edhe fëmijë. Një masakër që do të mbahet mend gjatë për mizorinë e saj. Sot mbushen gati 2 muaj nga kjo ngjarje e tmerrshme që vetëm sa na risolli në vëmendje shfarosjen hebrenjve në kampet naziste. Kemi të ftuar në studio zotin Harout Baghamian, zëvendës presidenti i Ambasadës Izraelite në Tiranë. Mirë se erdhe në studio.
Thank you for having me.
Faleminderit. Pyetja e parë, si e kujtoni atë ditë kur nisën sulmet në Izrael nga Hamasi dhe kur ambasada juaj u njoftua?
Remember, it was a Saturday morning. I was still sleeping. It was because it happened early in the morning, early hours of Saturday, which was also a Jewish holiday, Simchat Torah. I remember my brother called me. I was at home, and he told me they were very afraid because there are sirens, alarms in Jerusalem, which is something very unusual to hear alarms in Jerusalem. And when I asked him why, because he has also a small child, he has one kid, and he said the kid is crying and he's afraid of the alarms. And then slowly throughout the day, we realized that it was a very big attack, something that Israel hasn't seen for over almost 50 years. Throughout the day, also the ambassador called me also like an hour later and told me, get ready, it's a big attack. It sounds like it's something unusual, and that's it. It was a black Saturday that changed our lives.
Dhe u duk si një rrufe në fakt në qiell të hapur. Kur kanë kaluar 2 muaj nga këto sulme, a keni një ide të qartë se çfarë e shkaktoi këtë reagim terrorist?
It shouldn't come as a surprise. I mean, even though Israel was caught in a surprise, but we all know what are the plans of Hamas, this terrorist organization. It's something that they have in their doctrine, and they clearly talk about it is to destroy Israel. Their main idea of Hamas is not to build a free Palestine or a country. It's first of all to destroy Israel, and that's why the attack, even though the scale was big and surprising, but the idea behind it or the logic behind it for Hamas, it was very simple. It was an attempt to catch Israel in a surprise and to destroy and kill as much as people they can in a very fast way. So that's the main problem of this issue. It's Hamas and nothing else. I have to make one thing clear, that this is a war launched by Hamas against Israel, and it's not a war between Israel and Palestine or Palestinians. We have to state this every time, that we are fighting a terrorist organization whose main aim, whose main goal is to destroy Israel and kill the Jews. I mean, it's very simple. It's written in their doctrine of establishment. I mean, you can go and read it. Therefore, even though it was surprising, it shouldn't be very surprising when we talk about Hamas, because this is the main aim of this terrorist organization.
Po, zoti Harout, Qeveria Izraelite ka vendosur 3 objektiva publike në një operacion ushtarak në rripin e Gazës që kontrollohet nga Hamasi. Së pari, objektivi i parë është lirimi i pengjeve, më pas është eliminimi i Hamasit, edhe së treti është që Gaza të jetë një zonë e sigurt, mos përbëj më kërcënim për popullin e Izraelit. Çfarë sigurie ka ushtria izraelite që përmes operacioneve të saj toksore dhe ajrore të detyrojë Hamasin, terroristët Hamas, të lirojnë pengjet?
First of all, we already have around 100 hostages released, but the main targets, as you mentioned, to Israel is, first of all, to free all 240 hostages. Now there are still 137 hostages held by Hamas. So this is the main goal now, to free all the hostages, among which we have still two kids from the Bibas family, One of them is only 10 months old. So this is the first aim of Israel. Second is to eliminate Hamas, to destroy everything and anything that is connected to this terrorist organization. So this is what now the Israeli military is doing on the ground in Israel. Unfortunately, on 1st of December, a few days ago, Hamas restarted its launching of rockets into Israel, which put an end to the exchange of hostages. So this is the second aim that you mentioned, is to put an end to all the abilities of Hamas to act as a military organization and to be a source of terror to Israel. So these are the two main aims for now for the military of Israel and the government of Israel: free hostages and to put an end to anything that is called Hamas or any terror organization that is located or is functioning in the Gaza Strip.
Por është e mundur që përmes operacioneve ushtarake të eliminohet një organizatë terroriste si Hamas? A është e mjaftueshme kjo? Kam këtu parasysh faktin që Hamas nuk është vetëm një organizatë terroriste, por është një ideologji e urrejtjes që e ka mësuar këtë ideologji që në bankat e shkollës, nxënësve, madje një shqetësim i ngritur edhe nga institucionet e Bashkimit Evropian.
If Hamas is not only an organization, but it's also an ideology, so it reminds me of the ISIS when we had a few years ago. It was also an organization, an ideology of hatred against. Back then, it was against the West, against the non-Muslim populations of the Middle East, and Hamas ideology is, as I mentioned, is hatred towards Israel and anything Jewish and Israeli. First, we start by destroying the capabilities of this organization. We have to stop them from posing danger to the civilians, to the citizens of Israel. Then this ideology, as you mentioned, should be changed through education, through institutions. That will happen only after we destroy Hamas as an organization. I believe the future of the future of Gaza should be without Hamas. The people of Gaza should live a free, liberal, advanced life as they deserve. So we should put an end to Hamas, we should free the people of Gaza from Hamas and protect the citizens of Israel. So it is a long road. It's not something that will happen tomorrow. But it starts from somewhere. And that something and that somewhere is destroying Hamas as an organization. The ideology by itself will vanish, like many other ideologies in history, like Nazism or I mentioned also ISIS and a lot of other ideologies that they came and they could not survive in a civilized world. And we want Hamas to disappear as the rest disappeared and be in the trash can of history.
Do doja të ndalesha pak tek operacionet humanitare që Qeveria Izraelit ka ndërmarrë në Gaza. Në fakt, që kur ka filluar lufta nga të dhënat e Kogat, kanë hyrë në si ndihma mbi 21.470 tonë ndihma, pra në rripin e Gazës. Në fakt ne kemi raportuar shpesh edhe për ndërtimin e spitaleve, për të sëmurët që nga Gaza janë dërguar në Izrael dhe në vende të tjera, por a mund të na tregoni pak më shumë në lidhje me këto operacione humanitare çdo ditë atje?
Israel is allowing humanitarian aid to enter Gaza through the Rafah and crossing. Any countries, for example, that are trying to help or assist or send humanitarian aid are allowed to do so. Any international organizations that are sending humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza, Israel is allowing their entrance to the Gaza Strip. We've seen also from the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, the UAE, they were allowed to build field hospitals in south of Gaza for the people of Gaza. As you mentioned, thousands of tons of humanitarian aid, as we speak, also going through the border under inspection of the IDF to the Gaza Strip. Israel doesn't want the people of Gaza to suffer. I mean, we are doing our utmost to ensure that the people of Gaza are receiving the basic needs they need. Is it water, electricity, food, medical supply, etc. The problem is that till today, till maybe before 7th of October, all this aid that was coming into Gaza was misused by Hamas itself. We've seen this in hospitals, we've seen this with the UNRWA, United Nations agency that is supposed to help the Palestinian refugees. We've seen that all these institutions and many others were being used by Hamas, by the terror of Hamas. Today, Israel, for example, during these few days of ceasefire, a lot of facilities that were hurt during the war, like for example, water pipes, telecommunication lines, were fixed for the good of the people of Gaza. The situation is not good in Gaza. I'm sure there is a lot of suffering. We want this suffering to end. We are not fighting the people of Gaza. We are fighting, as I mentioned, Hamas. Therefore, any attempt to help the people, and it's reliable, we are more than glad to help and assist and allow this assistance to reach the right people.
Po. Kemi informacion që deri në fund të muajit nëntor që lampas 27 fëmijë nga Gaza janë dërguar për të marrë mjekim në disa spitale në Emiratet e Bashkuara Arabe. Mund të na tregoni diçka më konkrete? Keni ndonjë informacion për këtë?
I can tell you also information about a lot of children, around 1,000 of them yearly, that received medical assistance, medical care in Israel. There were a lot of Palestinian Gazan children that received aid in Israel, also during the war, before the war started. Again, Israel, on humanitarian grounds, Israel would like, and as it did in the past, also now, also in the future, to assist especially children who are in need of medical care. Also, when we saw during when the IDF arrived to the Shifa hospital, there were kids kept in incubators. Israel did its utmost to move these children, to these prematurely born babies, to the south and to Egypt to receive medical assistance. Israel cares about the children. Israel cares about the people. We will do nothing that is intentionally we'll do nothing intentional to hurt children, and if we can save them, we will do our best to save them, as we did before the war, during the war, and that we will do after the war.
Ne folëm pak më parë për pengjet dhe ti cilësove disa raste, jemi të gjithë të prekur nga historitë tronditse dhe jemi shumë të kënaqur që një pjesë prej tyre janë liruar dhe janë kthyer tek familjarët e tyre. Por çfarë po ndodh me pjesën tjetër të pengjeve? A keni më shumë informacione dhe kur mund të kthehen të gjitha pengjet? Ajsa ju keni mundësi të na tregoni, do të ishte e vlefshme.
First of all, we are very thankful that around 100 of them returned home, and today they are with their families. But the stories we hear from them are that they were in very traumatic and very tough situation when they were in Gaza for different reasons. I know that the terrorists of Hamas tried to showcase them as if they were very happy, they were smiling and giving high fives when they were leaving. For example, there was one girl that the Hamas media and other Arab media used it as if she was having a great time in Gaza and she was having a hard time to go back to Israel. This girl's brother was murdered in front of her eyes when she was kidnapped. How do you think such a girl can feel when being in Hamas captivity and then returning to Israel? Do you think she was really happy leaving like with the, sorry, was she feeling sad when she was leaving the Hamas? Of course, she was very happy that she was out of captivity. What I'm trying to say is these children, especially I want to concentrate on the children that were under captivity. Around 35 children under the age of 18 were held hostages in Gaza. These children have traumas, different types of traumas that will live with them for years to come. There's also a story of two brothers that they were taken hostage to Gaza. They burned their feet with the exhaust of a motor for them not to run away, so that they will have marks on them from the burns of the engine of the motorcycle. So these things are not only physical wounds, but these are wounds that will live with them for years to come. And I really hope they will overcome this pain and this trauma as fast as possible. And I call again all the institutions of the world to help in returning the remaining 137 hostages back home, because every day is hell. Mm-hmm. Every day is hell in captivity, far away from their families, far away from anyone actually. Even the Red Cross was not given any opportunity to meet these hostages, to meet these people who are in captivity. So they were kept probably underground in one of Hamas tunnels in Gaza, and they never met anyone, never talked to anyone, especially any international organization that should have at least had the chance to meet them and report about them. So we're waiting for them still home, and I hope they come back as soon as possible.
Dhe ne shpresojmë vërtet në lirimin e gjitha pengjeve. Ndërkohë, zoti Harout, po dëgjojmë, sidomos kohët e fundit, jemi duke dëgjuar në lajme për shumë sulme antisemite në Europë. Se mendon se është ky rikthim i urrëties ndaj hebrenjve?
You're touching upon a very historically very big question. What are the sources or what are the roots of anti-Semitism? It was very unfortunate to see when the war started against Israel, the wave of anti-Semitism that happened or that started in Europe and in the United States and in many different parts of the world. We saw this hatred not against the state of Israel, but against the Jewish people. Scenes that reminded us of the Holocaust, scenes that reminded us of Nazi persecution, marking houses of Jews with the Star of David in France, or I saw in Istanbul notices put on shops, no Jews allowed in, and all sorts of things that as a human being, okay, not as a citizen of Israel, as a human being, when I see these things, you see all the atrocities that the Jewish people and other people that were persecuted in history went through because belonging to a specific group. Anti-Semitism should be stopped anywhere in the world. Anti-Semitism should be fought with all power, with all people of the world. If today you hate Jews for being Jews, tomorrow you will hate Albanians for being Albanian. Tomorrow, the other day, it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. It's a cycle that never ends. So we should put an end to this. People can talk freely about anything they want. They can show support to Palestine or Palestinians or Gazans, but once that support turns into hatred against the Jews, that's already a red line that should not be crossed. And if crossed, should be condemned. Should be leaders of the world, leaders of countries should condemn it anywhere it happens, in the States, United States, in Europe, in Asia, everywhere.
Dhe një pyetje e fundit, komuniteti krishterë në Shqipëri dhe Kosovë ka shprehur mbështetje publike për Izraelin, të hapur dhe duke mbështetur edhe me lutje. A ke një thirrje për të gjithë komunitetin e krishterë, si në Shqipëri ashtu dhe në Kosovë? Çfarë mund të bëjmë për Izraelin në këto momente të vështira? në këtë pjesë të historisë?
First of all, I'm as a Christian, I'm also a Christian from Jerusalem. I feel very much the support and love that I saw from different members from the Christian community in Albania, especially from the members of the evangelical church. It's something that me, my ambassador, my embassy, we appreciate it a lot. And this is something that we are very proud of. I would thank not only Christians, but all the supporters of Israel in Albania, in Kosovo, for standing with the right side, standing with the good side, standing with Israel, supporting Israel. Just to talk about this and to talk about the truth will help Israel in its war against terrorism, in its war against Hamas. It's enough that every Christian in Albania or Kosovo talk about this, talk about the hostages, talk about the release of the hostages, share on social media the truth, the right voice from this war. That will be great help for explaining why this war is happening and why it should end only with the release of the hostages and with the end of Hamas. Once again, I would thank all the Christians of Albania and Kosovo for their brotherly stand. I myself, as an Israeli Christian, feel very proud every time I meet an evangelical or Christian that is in support of Israel. And together we will win evil. Good will win evil. That's what Christians believe in, that's what we believe in, and that's what always happened, and that's what will happen in this case also. Thank you very much.
Shumë faleminderit që erdhët në studion e programit ton, faleminderit për ato që ndave me ne.
Thank you.
Miq, mos u largoni, rikthehemi pas pak në Familja 7.